You're listening to Garden Master Ken Lain and the Top 10 Gardener Podcast. Welcome to the Top 10 Garden Show.
And we are back with Lisa Waters-Lane in the studio. She comes each week with your garden questions. Just what are your neighbors? What are other gardeners talking about? What are their questions? We can learn from them. And so we just share those over the airwaves. Lisa, welcome back to the Mountain Gardener Radio Show.
Thank you.
Yeah. You got a glow about you. Looks like you had some tanning, some beach time.
We were a few days up at the lake, and definitely you get a lot of beach sun time up there.
It's kind of nice. The water's rising.
Yes.
We were seeing water rise on Lake Powell 2 feet a day. I mean, close to it. I mean, it was like, whoa, where did that beach go? It just disappeared. The negative, the water's rising. There's no beaches because they're all tumbleweed covered. They haven't seen water in a while. So you got to kind of search.
Wear your shoes.
Yeah, wear your shoes. You get pokey. Have your dogs wear their shoes. It was kind of nice. So the water's definitely going up in the west. It's encouraging. Definitely. We actually had the cut. You folks that know Lake Powell, there's a shortcut between Wawheat Bay and Warm Creek, the next bay over. And when it's open, you can take a shortcut right up the river and go right up the lake. Real easy. If it's closed, it's been closed for a couple of years, you have to go around to the dam, hook a left through this terrifying.
It's brutal.
It's like really boats are choppy. Then you go through Antelope Marina, which is like mega yachts, like the really big boys. It's like terrifying every time you get near one. Then finally, like 10 miles later, you get to go where that shortcuts to. Well, it's open. Opened up last week.
Nice.
It's kind of very nice.
It's pretty shallow.
It's okay. Take it slow. We were seeing even Malibu boats, the surf boats, they were going through. So, be careful. Don't want to lose a prop. But anyway, what garden questions do we have from folks?
Well, sure. We've definitely hit summer now. And so most of our questions kind of relate to things that occur in the summertime. So Robert was noticing that his maple tree was really nice and green and beautiful. And it's kind of lost a little bit of its color. He's concerned it's yellowing out a little bit. So his basic question is that just the weather? Does it need iron? Is it something to worry about?
Robert, you should be worried. Yes, it's a problem. Your plants should not be yellow. They should be rich, thick, deep green, like forest green. If they aren't doing that, they're talking to you. So your maple is complaining. It's anemic. It's having issues. And it's letting you know, and you noticed it. So your gardener, you kind of went, oh, that's not quite right. I don't remember that. So it's starting to yellow. What's happened is, and this is any plant, not just trees, not just maples, not just plants that are off colored. What's happened is you've been watering them a lot to get them through June. Normal. We all do this. But if you didn't fertilize well enough or you use the wrong plant food earlier in the season, spring, you've flushed out all those nutrients and the pH level has started to creep up. And so your soil is starting to take on the pH of your water. And the pH of your water, whether it's a well or a city, we're all dealing with groundwater, is going to be in the high 7s. The perfect pH, according to the book, is like 6. 6.5 is the neutral. I've never seen that. I've done hundreds of soil tests, never seen that. I've seen out of my personal wells, 9.4, as high as that. That's sterile. That's like ammonia. It's just the pH is so high, it's sterilizing the soil. So plants go yellow when you see that. And so, give it iron. Give it some nutrients. But really what you're after, you got to lower the pH. You do that, and you're good to go. I would recommend for you, Robert, specifically for this instant, you're seeing yellow leaves, yellow, just seems it's not as rich, thick green. I would give it the 744 all-purpose plant food. We put sulfur in that food because we know you're going to be struggling with keeping the pH down. We just know the water. We're trying to compensate for that. But for you specifically, I would also, in addition, I would supplement that food with some additional sulfur. I'd get a little bag of soil sulfur. It looks like a little pelletized sulfur. And just it'll kind of double down on lowering that pH, and you'll see that thing grain up. I mean, we're within a week, rich green. All the new foliage will come out green. The foliage will be bigger. The shade from that tree will be better. And so I'd fertilize it with the 7.4 all-purpose food and give it sulfur. the same time. There you go. Robert, yes, be worried. If you don't do anything, it will lose leaves, start to shed, be thin, be wispy, and you will not get any fall color.
Right.
It'll just be lost. Anyway.
Okay, so take care of it.
Take care of your plants.
Yes. All right. Joe has a question about tomatoes. Said they're nice and healthy looking, but they really aren't putting on many blooms. Is it too early yet? Will they start to bloom? What do you do?
And who is that? Where is he from?
Joe.
Joe. Tomatoes should be setting fruit right now, and they should definitely be blooming. So what to do? Now, what happens now? Tomatoes, they don't like it to be in that 95, that high. Once you get in the 90s, the mid 90s, they stop blooming. So it could be just simply it got hot, take a little break. And so now you'll simply, the rains have come, so they'll start to grow faster. And so it's taking the pressure off. And so the plants will probably start blooming a little better anyway by itself. But why wait for it to do it by itself? We're gardeners. We can force plants to do what we want. And so get some Blossom Set. Come into the garden center. Blossom Set's in a liquid. It's in a trigger sprayer. You just go through and just mist your foliage. Make them happy. Go in the morning. Just kind of mist them, maybe once a week. Give them a good drink on their foliage. Don't focus on the flowers. Focus on the foliage. And so that will force your plants to start setting more flowers. You get more flowers naturally. You're going to get fruit set. So it's a game changer. Once those tomatoes start to set fruit, throttle back and go every other week. And that should be enough to keep them going. Actually, ours are starting to fruit, and now I'm switching it up. 1 week I hit it with Blossom Set, and I'll do this through the end of the year or the growing season. And then the next week I hit it with Yield Booster. Yield Booster is liquid calcium. And so every week I just go out in the morning, I just spritz my plants and make them happy. It makes me feel good to make them happy. And then they're starting to set fruit. I would do that for your tomatoes, your peppers. I actually do it for my plants, my vegetable gardens. It'll make more eggplants come out. It'll make your cucumbers better. It just makes them happier. And so it makes them forces them to have more tomatoes. Yeah. Come talk to us. We can show you what to do.
So the Yield Booster, the calcium. So that's for blossom end rot.
Correct.
That's more of that black that forms on the
or just bigger fruits. You'll get larger, juicier, better flavor. Calcium does a lot, but you're mainly doing it for blossom end rot because it's so prevalent here. Again, that's a pH thing that's happening. So you overwater, the pH gets too high, it'll get blossom end rot. So Yield Booster helps with that a lot, and it just increases the size of your fruits. It's a game changer all the way around.
Okay. Well, our next question is from Maya. She is wanting a screen tree.
Yeah.
But she's just a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So she wants to go, what's the hardest? What's the toughest? What's the fastest growing?
Yeah.
What would you put in your yard?
Sure. So Maya, we can help you. So there's like 700 trees here at the garden center. You walk in, you're going, oh my gosh, there's a fruit tree section. There's an evergreen section. There's a privacy screen section. There's a shade. There's a blooming section. Where do I even start? Well, just go with the size you want. So if I want shade, go to the shade section. Sounds like she wanted a privacy. I couldn't quite tell. Privacy screen. Go to the privacy screen section. The number one seller by far, Arizona cypress. Just because it's in Arizona, it's native. It grows up to size fast, one of the fastest growing of your evergreen varieties. They look a little wimpy in the buckets. Maybe they're 8 feet tall by only 4 feet wide, but they're going to turn into a 25 by 12 foot thick, solid barrier. We use it for windbreaks and for privacy screens, but by no means the only variety. They're basically silver blue. Sometimes you've got too much of that silver color that naturally shows up. You have too many oak trees and things out there. Maybe you want a green. So there's Spartan juniper. Junipers are another golden. You just can't go wrong with junipers. You can't kill them. And so that's another good choice. That's when come in and talk to us. Bring a picture of that space you're trying to block off. We'll walk through with you. We'll handhold you. We'll make sure you don't make a mistake. We'll make sure you plant it right. We've got a planting guide. It shows you exactly how to put it in the ground, how big the hole, how much mulch, how much food, how to stake it. We'll make sure that you're a pro before you even leave, because we want that thing to thrive, not just live, but to thrive, especially for privacy screens. Privacy screens, you want that thing thick now. So you're planting it now, good time, rooting it out now, getting it ready, a little bit of growth now, but next spring, it will double in size. Evergreens kind of need to root one year and they take off with new growth. Anyway, that is it for this segment. Great question, Maya. Don't be overwhelmed. We're here for you. Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back.
Plant summer shade with the best trees.
We've collected 700 mountain hardy trees for summer-long shade, privacy, and wind protection.
We guarantee you will fall in love with a backyard that is cool again.
Summer rains make this the ideal season to plant new trees for summer-long shade.
And Waters Garden Center can help.
Waters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott.
You're listening to Ken Lain, aka the Top 10 Gardener. Ken can be found throughout the week in Prescott at Waters Family Garden Center. Listen daily as he answers the top 10 questions of the week, streaming on Apple, Google, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts.